Have you ever wondered why your most productive days at work are often followed by the worst burnouts? Welcome to the silent crisis that's creeping into the corners of our workspaces. A crisis of mental health. It's a subject often swept under the corporate rug. Yet its impact is monumental. Mental health issues are far more prevalent in the workforce than we'd like to admit. More than 1 in 5 adults in the workforce are grappling with some form of mental health issue. That's a staggering 20% of our colleagues, friends and family members who are silently fighting their own battles while juggling project deadlines and office politics. The consequences of neglecting mental health in the workplace are severe. Work-related stress and burnout aren't just buzzwords thrown around in the break room. They're real, tangible issues that we face on a daily basis. Diseases of the mind can be as debilitating as physical ailments, and they're often harder to spot. Consider this: a colleague who's always the last to leave the office. They might seem like the embodiment of dedication and hard work, but could they be struggling with an unmanageable workload or battling feelings of anxiety and inadequacy? Or think about the teammate who's suddenly become withdrawn, missing out on social gatherings, or displaying a change in their work performance. They might be battling more than just a tough project deadline. Mental health discrimination, too, is a silent oppressor in the workplace. It's something we need to address head-on. No one should feel stigmatized or ostracized because of their mental health issues. The signs of mental health problems at work are often subtle, overlooked, or misinterpreted. Yet they can be as loud as a fire alarm if we just take the time to listen and understand. Recognizing the importance of mental health in the workplace is the first step towards creating a healthier and more productive work environment. It's time we stop ignoring this silent crisis and start taking action. Because remember, the strongest teams are those that support each other, not just in achieving work goals, but also in maintaining mental well-being. So, what can employers do to create a supportive work environment? Well, the answer is a lot more than just offering free coffee and snacks in the break room. First and foremost, open communication is key. Employers need to create an environment where employees feel comfortable discussing their mental health without fear of judgment or discrimination. This could be as simple as regularly checking in with staff or establishing a confidential hotline for employees to voice their concerns. Accommodating individual needs is another crucial element. This might mean flexible working hours for someone dealing with anxiety, or providing a quiet space for employees who need a moment away from the hustle and bustle. Remember, one size doesn't fit all when it comes to mental health, so it's important to adapt to the unique needs of each employee. Training managers to handle mental health issues is also a must. Managers are often the first point of contact when an employee is struggling, so they need to be equipped with the skills to respond appropriately. This might involve training on how to recognize the signs of mental health issues, or guidance on how to support an employee in crisis. And let's not forget about promoting a healthy work-life balance. Encouraging employees to take time off, disconnect from work after hours, and pursue hobbies and interests outside of the office can go a long way in preventing burnout and maintaining mental well-being. These practices not only contribute to a more supportive work environment, but they also have major benefits for the overall productivity and morale of the workforce. Happier, healthier employees are more engaged, more creative, and more likely to stick around. So, in reality, taking care of your employees' mental health is not just the right thing to do, it's also good for business. So to all the employers out there, remember, your employees are your greatest asset. Look after their mental health, and they'll look after your business. By taking these steps, employers can make a significant impact on the mental well-being of their employees. But what about employees? What can they do to take care of their mental health at work? Well, let's dive into that. Being proactive about your mental health is key. Just like you might hit the gym to keep your body fit, think of these strategies as a workout for your mental muscles. First up, setting boundaries. It's about knowing your limits and sticking to them. This can be as simple as not checking work emails after a certain time, or making sure you take regular breaks throughout the day. Remember, you're not a robot programmed to work 24/7. You're a human being who needs time to recharge. Next, let's talk about mental health days. These are not just for when you're feeling under the weather physically. If you're feeling stressed, anxious, or just mentally exhausted, taking a mental health day can be just as important as taking a sick day for a physical illness. It's about giving your mind the rest it needs to recover and rejuvenate. Now, seeking help when needed. This can be a tough one, especially with the stigma that often surrounds mental health. But remember, there's no shame in reaching out for help. Whether it's talking to a trusted colleague, reaching out to a counselor, or using a mental health app, there are many resources available to support you. And finally, advocating for your mental health rights. This is about standing up for yourself and making sure your mental health needs are met. Whether it's requesting reasonable adjustments at work or seeking legal advice, it's important to know your rights and use them. As for resources, there are plenty out there. Many employers offer counseling services or have employee assistance programs. There are also numerous support groups and mental health apps that can provide guidance and support. So take a moment to reflect on what you've heard. What steps can you take today to take better care of your mental health at work? Remember, taking care of your mental health is not a sign of weakness, but a strength that empowers you to perform at your best. So what have we learned today about mental health in the workplace? We've delved into the silent crisis of mental health issues that often go unnoticed or unaddressed in our workplaces. Stress, burnout, and discrimination aren't just buzzwords. They're real challenges that employees face daily. We've also discussed the crucial role of employers. It's not enough to just acknowledge these issues. Employers must actively work to create an environment that supports mental well-being. This might involve implementing policies or offering resources that prioritize mental health. And let's not forget about self-care and advocacy. As employees, we're not helpless. We have a range of strategies at our disposal to take care of our mental health, from taking mental health days to accessing available resources. Remember, addressing mental health isn't a one-off task, but an ongoing process. Let's remember that mental health is just as important as physical health. And it's high time we start treating it as such in our workplaces. Until next time, take care of your mind. It's the greatest asset you have.